Welcome to History with Master Squishies. Today's video will be covering the history of the BT-5. We'll be going over who made it, the design, what nations used it, some of the battles it took place in, and how it performs in-game. Before we start, I would like to apologize. I am not fluent in Russian or Spanish, so if I mispronounce some of the names, I'm sorry. With that covered, let us begin. To start, the BT-5 is the abbreviation for Bystrokhody Tankhanov, which means fast tank. The BT-5 was designed by an American engineer named John Walter Christie and the Ukrainian company Kharkiv Morozov Machine Building Design Bureau, or KMDB. The BT-5 was a light tank, but specifically a fast tank, which would be the Russian name for cavalry and cruiser tanks. BT-5 was the fifth generation of BT tanks. The original BT tank was the Christie M1931 tank, also known as the Combat Car T1. John Walter Christie designed the M1928 for the United States, but due to many flaws within his design, they were rejected. Christie later developed the M1931, which caught the attention of the Amtorg Trading Corporation, which was the USSR's first trading representation group. The USSR was impressed with the convertible tank design that Christie proposed, which the convertible tank design gave the tank crew an option to remove the tracks and use road wheels to travel at higher speeds on the road. Thus, Amtorg bought two M1931 tanks for the USSR, and they were shipped to the Kharkov Comintern Locomotive Plant, also known as KHPZ. After arriving to the plant, the Soviets changed the name of the M1931 to BT-1. The Soviets started production on the BT series based off the M1931 tank. The BT-5 started production in 1933 and was equipped with a single turret with a 45mm model 1932 gun, also known as a 20-K, and a Tektyrov machine gun, also known as DP-27 or the DT. It had a maximum of 13mm of armor and a minimum of 6mm of armor. It had a crew of 3, a weight of 11.5 tons, a length of 18.3 feet or 5.58 meters, a width of 7.3 feet or 2.23 meters, and a height of 7.4 feet or 2.25 meters. The BT-5 also had an on-road speed of 45 miles per hour. Now there's a bunch of dispute on how many tanks were produced, but the common numbers I've seen are 1,884 upwards of 2,018. Next, we'll move on to the operational history. The BT-5 was used by the Soviet Union, the Spanish Republic, the Republic of China, the People's Republic of China, the Mongolian People's Republic, and the Kingdom of Afghanistan. It was also captured and used by Francoist Spain, Finland, Hungary, Romania, and Germany. The wars it participated in were the Spanish Civil War, Second Sino-Japanese War, the Soviet-Japanese border conflicts, the invasion of Poland, the Winter War, and World War II in general. In the Spanish Civil War, 50 BT-5s fought in the Spanish Republic. The first combat mission on October 13, 1937 in the Zaragoza Offensive was a disastrous defeat for the Spanish Republic, with 13 tanks being lost. Shortly after that, 12 more tanks were lost at the Battle of Teruel from December 1937 to February 1938. In the Second Sino-Japanese War, Chinese Nationalist Army used 4 BT-5s, but I can't find any more information besides just that. In the Soviet-Japanese border conflicts, the BT-5s were used but started to be phased out by the BT-7. Unfortunately, the BT-5s were easy targets for the Japanese close-quarter teams and were highly fire-prone. With operating temperatures higher than 100 degrees Fahrenheit, on the Mongolian plains, the Japanese used Molotov cocktails to ignite the engines. In the Winter War, there was minimal success with the BT series in general, with many being lost due to Molotov cocktails, bad weather, and breakdowns. During the invasion of Poland, the BT-5 was supposed to be replaced by the T-34, but it wasn't replaced until Operation Barbarossa. In World War II, specifically Operation Barbarossa, hundreds upwards of 1,000 were destroyed or abandoned, with very few remaining in service after 1942. That covers the history of the BT-5. Now let's move on to how it performs in-game. In-game, the BT-5 stats line up almost perfectly to its historical documentation. Armor is slightly off. In-game, it has a maximum of 15mm when it should be 13mm, and its minimum is 10 when it should be 6mm. Its speed is right as far as I can tell. In-game, it has a speed of 32 miles per hour, which I would assume is its off-road speed, since the on-road speed was 35 miles per hour. The weight is nearly right. In-game, it's 11.6 tons, when in real life it should be 11.5 tons. The machine guns are completely correct, with it being a DT machine gun, chambered in 7.62 by 54mm R. The main gun is also correct, with it being a 45mm 20-K gun. Though, I can't find any information on the ammos it used, so I can't tell you if it's right or wrong. All in all, I would say the BT-5 is well represented in-game when compared to how it performed historically. That brings this video to an end. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, squish that like button, subscribe, and let me know what you want to hear about next. I'll see you in the next one.